Good evening, young ladies. I'm so glad that you guys were able to make it to my little seminar today. Today our topic's going to be teen pregnancies. I know most of you women are at that age already, which is it's pretty normal. You know, your hormones are all over the place. You're in a place right now to be making smart decisions, I'm hoping. We're going to talk about, how we can prevent teen pregnancies. I've seen a handful of, seniors at this school who've already made their choice and are on a different route than you guys. But today I want to talk about what it takes to even bring a baby into this world, how much of a responsible person you need to become. And I mean, it's going to happen in a blink of an eye. It's going to happen before you even know it. Like, the baby will eventually be here. When a teen mom becomes a mother, they might have to drop out of school. How are they going to support their child? They lose out on freedom. You think you're going to be going to high school dances or hanging out with your friends whenever you want, or going to get a bite. It's going to take a lot more than just to be walking out the door. You're going to have to make a decision on a babysitter. We don't even know if there's going to be time for that, basically. You're going to need to get a job to provide for your child. Most of you probably still live with your parents. You guys are all sophomores, correct? Okay, well, I'm sure your mother and your father are still providing your shelter, your food, your clothing, your transportation. How are you going to do this for a child if you don't even do it for yourself yet? That's a big responsibility. I mean, that takes time. You got to have a lot of energy for all of that. So as a teen mom, you're going to be responsible for another life. And that's going to be forever until they're out of your house and gone. Are you going to be a single mom, or is dad going to be involved? Because if you're going to be a single mom, that's going to be 10 times harder. It's going to be hard to be mom and dad, especially at a young age when you're still a baby, technically. So this is probably where you would have to decide if you're going to keep the baby or consider abortion or adoption. Sometimes, adoption isn't such a bad choice, but those are things that you should be thinking about, which are kind of the consequences for becoming a teen mom. And then, what type of childhood will your baby have? If you're so young and, it becomes overwhelming. I've had a child of my own, and I know how overwhelming it can be, but I had a baby later on in life. It's overwhelming. The late nights, the feedings, the diaper changing, just is very time consuming, but they are God's gift to us. And okay, so what type of childhood will the baby have? Will the baby have a well education? Will the baby have proper nutrition? Will it be living in a proper living environment? Say your parents kick you out and you're pregnant. What are you going to do? Where's that baby going to sleep? Will the baby be involved with dad? Another factor. If not, mom has to play both mom and dad. That's not even a choice. Will mom make mature choices for herself and the baby? Those are just some things that we want to think about. So according to the U.S., since 2013, there has been 273,000 births since 2013. Abortion rates are high. In September 2014, the American Academy of Pediatricians endorsed IUDs. We'll get to this. These are just different contraceptives that you can use to prevent pregnancy. If you don't want it, if it's unintended, you need to be careful. The best contraceptive, based on studies, have proven that the IUD, which is, it's an implant. Here's the chart from 2005 to 2013 and how much it has reduced unwanted pregnancies. This IUD is an implantation. It's inserted, and it's a permanent. It's a long-acting, reversible contraceptive, meaning that you can take this out when you want. You don't have to keep it in, but it's for women who are having sexual intercourse at a very young age. You need to be safe. You need to make sure that if you don't want a baby, you need to take care of yourself. The only problem about the IUD is that insurance companies, they don't want to pay for it. According to the studies, an IUD, which is this device right here, which is a contraceptive for women, costs 50 to 100 times more money than a box of condoms, which is, the government doesn't want to pay for that. So, IUDs and other long duration devices and an implant without insurance, women can't afford it. It's just too much. It's too much. There's not enough. The youngest unwanted teenager mother, this is a scenario, okay? The youngest unwanted teenage mother, 12 years old, expressed her mother's reaction as follows. And this is coming from an article titled Teenagers' Experience of Pregnancy and the Parent and Partner's Reactions. And according to this study, the youngest unwanted teenage mother, 12 years old, expressed her mother's reaction as follows. My mother noticed that I ate a lot of fish due to the craving during pregnancy. She asked me, why do you eat a lot of it? Has something happened to you? I told her nothing has happened. Then she said, mark my words, if you're pregnant, we will abort it. This teenager ran away from home before her mother could take her to the doctor. She was terrified of her mother's reactions. So we're talking about a teenager who's scared out of her mind. Her body's going through a lot of different changes due to pregnancy, and she has no support. She has no support because she's still a baby herself. Like, her mom didn't help the situation, so she did what she thought was best, and she ran away from home. And this is just one teenager. This is one teenager that we're talking about. There's millions of teenagers that are experiencing this same issue. The problem right here is babies are having babies. U.S. has a lot of teen parents. Insurance companies don't want to pay for IUDs or other long duration devices. And then it says basically right here that condoms, which is mostly the most common contraceptive, it only basically prevents against transmitted diseases. We have other contraceptives here, which is the patch, the vaginal rings, and the shots. Those are other forms of birth control that you can look into if you were interested. So our number one problem right now is that we want to help prevent teen pregnancies. We want to help practice abstinence. As a professional school counselor, I would want to make you guys knowledgeable about the consequences of sexual intercourse. Things happen. You might think that it's not going to happen to you, but it could be you. It could be you one day. I want to expose you guys. I even think that exposure at an earlier age to sexual education, sex ed classes, will be beneficial. I know it's scary, and sometimes parents think that, oh, my child's not doing that, but we honestly don't know. We can't really be the judge of that. We want to hope that our child is making the right choices and, you know, going about practicing abstinence. But we never know. So ways we can prevent it is we can even introduce contraceptives. If we know our child is sexually active, we want them to be using some type of contraceptive. We don't want to not give our child any way out. Like, we want them to be able to, if they are doing it, have a sexual intercourse and they're already at that stage, we want to introduce this. Okay? And if we're not doing this, we want to acknowledge and we want to let them know how important it is to practice abstinence. It's very important, women. It's very, very important. You have your whole life ahead of you. You don't want to be a teen mom who has to drop out of school to get a job to provide for their baby, because that's what happens. So, onto this, I want, I went over a little bit of the contraceptives that we can use, the problem about teen pregnancy. We talked about when a teen becomes a mom, and we talked about what type of childhood a baby would have if a mother at such a young age brought a baby into this world. And this is the chart of the most useful, the best contraceptive that is now accurately shown here in this graph for an implanted device. So something that it's longer lasting. It's a long-acting reversible contraceptive. Okay, and I want to go over a little bit about somewhere you can go if you need answers, if you need questions, if you need help, if you need to talk to somebody about where to go, if you're somewhere involved in this issue, whether you're pregnant, whether you think you're pregnant, whether you're just going because you know you're having sex and you want to be safe about it. And you should want to be safe about it for many reasons. You don't want to get a transmitted disease. You don't want to have a baby. So I think if you're at this stage in your life and this is some of the things are activities that you are engaging in, you want to protect yourself. So Planned Parenthood is one of the organizations that I've came across. They're pretty local. We're from Porterville, California, and there's one located in Fresno. Their mission is to provide comprehensive reproduction and complementary health care services in settings which preserve and protect the essential privacy and rights of an individual, to advocate public policies which guarantee these rights and to ensure access to such services, to provide educational programs which enhance understanding of individual and societal implications of human sexuality, and they're here to promote research and advancement of technology in reproduction, healthcare, and encourage understanding of their inherent bioethical, behavioral, and social implications. So, according to this organization, 2.7 million women and men in the United States annually visit Planned Parenthood. 84% of Planned Parenthood healthcare clinics in the U.S. are, 84% of Planned Parenthood health clients in the U.S. are age 20 and older. 1 in 5 women in the U.S. have visited Planned Parenthood health centers at least once in her life. Planned Parenthood health centers focuses on preventing 80% of our clients' reserve services to prevent unintended pregnancies. Planned Parenthood services help prevent approximately 5,116 unintended pregnancies each year. And 1.5 young people and adults visit this outreach program. They're here to help set you in the right direction, whether it be choosing a contraceptive, whether it be talking about your options if you are pregnant, which is adoption or abortion or whatever you think you might have in mind. There are services out here that are going to help you get on the right path. Make the right choices, ladies. It's real, and when it happens, it's even more real. So, I want to thank you guys for coming today into this small little seminar. I guess our motto will be, we're going to practice safe sex to prevent teen pregnancy. And I have a couple pamphlets on the way out if you guys want to grab one. My name is Miss Rodriguez. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to talk afterwards, feel free to stop by or stay after. I'm here to answer any questions, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this seminar. But let's make wise choices, ladies. Let's reduce this rate. Let's reduce the pregnancy, how high the pregnancy rate is here in California alone. Like, we've had a lot of underage, I don't want to say underage, but we've had a lot of